Date night can be one of the hardest meals to get right. You want somewhere cool but not intimidating, fun but not chaotic, and above all, food that gives you something to talk about. Austin's great at casual and delicious, but when it comes to romantic but not trying too hard, maybe it helps to know where to go. Some date nights call for refinement. Some call for going over the top. The latter is how I would describe my meal at Juniper, where over a tasting menu with a view of an open kitchen, I was served thoughtful, modern Italian cooking with hints of spectacle and flavors that took me to Kyoto, Japan, New York City, and San Francisco. The egg custard at Juniper was one of the top dining experiences I've ever had and made my best of 2025 list. Let's get into it with Chef Sterling, and certainly, if you go tasting menu at Juniper, expect to have your socks knocked off. Chef Sterling, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, I mean, right back at you. Before I just swoon about that tasting menu, I think it's fair to say, this is a date night episode, and folks, different strokes for different folks, right? So the tasting menu obviously is a financial and time commitment. So let's talk Juniper and, a more casual date experience, maybe even a first date. What would you say is the way to experience Juniper for a first date?
Well, for a first date, I mean, it kind of depends on what you're going for, who you're coming with. I mean, if I, was taking my wife out on our first date, I mean, I honestly probably would have come in and done the a la carte menu. Everything is prepared very thoughtfully, with just a focus on really great ingredients and not being too over the top or concerned with flash on that menu.
Okay, so walk me through an experience at Juniper. You mentioned how the a la carte menu certainly works for sharing, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about maybe a first course, a pasta, and maybe a seconde and entree that would be worth ordering and possibly in a sharing situation.
Sure. So, I mean, we make a really nice focaccia here using some beautiful flowers. One to focus on is a flour that we have milled for us, Yokora Rojo from Barton Springs Mill. We serve that with a whipped ricotta that we make and hot honey. We have, as far as starting out, we have a tuna carpaccio with everything bagel seeds, avocado, and a little bit of pickled onion on that as well.
Okay.
Salads. And then our gnocchi is also something that I'm a huge fan of. I love potato gnocchi. It's been something that I've strived to get better and better at as a cook. And we're serving that with arugula puree that's been buttered out right at the end with Tokyo turnips that have been braised, a little bit of fresh arugula and Parmesan. As far as a pasta on the menu, my favorite thing on the menu, pasta-wise, is our rigatoni and vodka, followed very, very shortly by our radiatori, which is my favorite pasta shape that's served with a pork ragu.
What is the exact shape of that pasta? And can you say it one more time? Because I sure as heck couldn't say it again, let alone spell it.
Radiatori.
Radiatori.
It is. Yeah, it's a noodle that it's curled a little bit, but it has all of these kind of waves and ridges on it. It takes on pasta sauce extremely well. It has a very pleasant mouthfeel and chew whenever you're getting into it.
If you had to just, feed on the fire, Sterling, one dish that comes to mind that defines the Juniper style and that philosophy you just mentioned?
On our a la carte menu, we have a whole section called From the Hearth. The meats that we're serving off there, we're sourcing the highest quality beef, pork, fish we're able to get our hands on. So I love to do things. My favorite fish is turbo. We do fish like that. We like to poach them in like A5 Wagyu tallow, or just simply roast them very, very well with that kind of focus on fundamental technique that's so important.
You do take spectacle into consideration. In the tasting menu, the first three courses were presented in a box, and that box was opened up. And this is ironic because I was in Kyoto last year. I did not go to a kaiseki restaurant, but it struck me that this was what one experiences in the classic kind of, dare I say, ancient Japanese multi-course tasting menu where, this spectacle and these foods come out of compartments come in. Is that where the inspiration came from? Because that was pretty darn fun and wild.
Certainly. I was at Uchiko for 8 years, and I was the executive chef there for, I think, 2 years, and transforming the way I think. So when I see this interesting jewelry box that's like, I think it's made in Norway or something like that, and thinking, I could put food in that,
Here's my hot take.
Okay.
If he or she doesn't do carbs, is it a deal breaker?
Oh yeah, divorce is imminent.
I didn't want to push you into divorce court. I was just thinking generically, broadly.
Carbs obviously are very, very important to me. I'm very happy to cook for and write menus for people who can't indulge in those kind of things.
Spoken like a chef who can look at a jewelry box from Norway and say, I can put 3 courses of food in it. Chef Sterling, thanks so much for joining us.
Man, thank you for having me, dude.
French Texan bistro Le Calamar took the Austin food scene by storm since opening last May, landing on numerous best of lists, including yours truly. The buzzworthy restaurant is also premium date night material, intimate but not intimidating, stylish but not stuffy. Oh yeah, there's the whole food thing. Joining us is Chef Casey Wall, who has worked the stoves in New York City and for nearly 2 decades in the land down under, Australia. What brought him back stateside? Well, I'm gonna find out. Chef Casey, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course, my friend, of course, of course. So, I gotta ask, you've worked at some of the bigger restaurants, some of the bigger names around in New York City, and then you spent 15 years in Australia. What brought you back to run the kitchen in Le Calamar?
We moved back to be close to the family, real reason. It was this really good energy. Austin is great at, Tex-Mex, Mexican barbecue, that realm, bars, sports bars, great scene, steakhouses. But it felt like for a city so big and a city that was such a great food city, there were a few gaps missing in the market. So I felt like there was a unique opportunity to open up something that wasn't readily available in Austin.
This is a date night episode, so I'm at Le Calamar, I'm with the wife. Run me through a perfect date night via the menu.
I think you got to start with a nice glass of something or a martini and get a few oysters and a chicken wing or 2 each. I think 1 isn't quite enough. Right. Maybe 2 per person is a great little start.
Can we just talk a little bit about, that perfect glass to kind of set the night off, or a cocktail? What would we line up there?
This cocktail that I thought would be on the menu for a couple of weeks and has been on there for a while is called a corn star martini. It's a play on words, so don't hold that against us. But we take sweet Texas corn, cut it off the husk, and we infuse it in vodka and cook that at a very low temperature, sous vide. And you get this a really rounded, sweet, corn-flavored vodka.
So this is a corn-infused vodka martini. That's what we're
Yes.
talking about here.
So we use a mixed corn liqueur as well, a nixtamalized corn liqueur. That it's like it gets that earthy grain flavor of corn,
Okay.
like the sweet corn on the cob corn. So there's like 2 layers of corn flavor there.
Talk me through the epic Le Calamar chicken wing.
All right, so we take a chicken wing, a full chicken wing, one that hasn't been jointed. So we take the drum stick off and we leave the flat with the little tip still connected to it. The drum gets reused for sauce in a very laborious chicken jus that we make for our roast chicken dish. Then we make a mousseline, which is a puree of egg whites and cream and chicken breast, and we freeze the RoboCoupe and all that fun stuff, and then we puree it in that, and then pass it through a tammy sieve.
So you're pureeing it in a food processor. You're running it through like kind of a fine mesh sieve. So you're getting like, to be honest, essentially meat paste. You know what I mean? Like toothpaste, but out of chicken, right?
And then we put it in a piping bag and we fill the boned out chicken wing up to make little like.
And it literally gets filled up like a balloon. It's really amazing to see. I got to watch you make it, and it's quite amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, we do that. We steam them afterwards. Set the mousseline, and then we dry out. So we leave them uncovered in the fridge for a few hours, so the skin dries out after they come out of the steamer. We slowly render and char the chicken skin over charcoal, and as it's getting about 90% done and rendered, we start brushing it with a chicken jus to get like a sticky umami like glaze.
Run me through the rest of this menu on date night.
The fish changes quite often, but it's a raw fish dish. We've been using wahoo and yellowfin tuna. We kind of go back and forth between the two, depending on what we can get with the boats that are going out. So we lightly, clean all that up, lightly cure that in a salt and a little bit of sugar, coriander seed, peppercorn, cure that, wipe it up, and we slice it like you would a sashimi. And we get these mushrooms from Hi-Fi Mycology in Austin, and we roast them in the oven and then make a mushroom fumet out of that. So really deep mushroom flavored broth. And we reduce that down so it's very intensified.
We got to wrap it up, Chef Casey, but I do have, because it's date night, a hot take question for you. Are you ready for the hot take question?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, here we go. Is sharing plates essential on a date?
I think the best experience is going to a place to share food with someone or a couple of people. I couldn't date someone that didn't want to share food. So I mean, yeah, I think that's you would have to. It's essential.
Looks like I got to start saving for my next date night. But thanks for being on, and really looking forward to coming back to Le Calamar.
Yeah, I can't wait to have you.
Not every date night needs candles and hushed voices. Uptown Sports Club is a fun date night. Sure, there's some TV, so maybe not first date, but if you've been married long enough where you have to remind your partner when your anniversary is, I'll assume having Thursday night football won't be a deal breaker. But hey, if a restaurant can make you feel like you are in New Orleans, you're in for a fun date night for sure. Chef James Philibert is joining us from Uptown Sports Club. James, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Heck yes, sir. Can you walk me through a meal that really would honor a date night at Uptown Sports Club?
I always will say the steak frites is where I would lead people onto. It's a very good cut. It's something that we've had on the menu since the very beginning. And I feel like we've gotten to a place now where it's very classic, and it's a large enough plate where it's shareable.
But can you just talk me through the cut, all the little details, I assume it's au poivre on this one, because it's some real craftsmanship, and that's literally why I was like, I gotta have Uptown Sports Club on this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. First thing, all of our steaks are cut in-house. So we do all of our own processing. We get the subprimals in, and we do it all together. The biggest thing for us is making sure that they are the exact size for every single one of them, which is important for us to make sure that the quality is going to be the same for every single guest. Another thing for us is we use a lot of beef tallow in-house. So anytime we are cooking a steak, it is drenched in beef tallow. We use a mixture of beef tallow and butter that we finish the steak with. Of course, the beef tallow and butter that had some rosemary and garlic in it, and that kind of sets it apart from everything else, I believe.
Here's my big question. Is a hurricane overkill on date night?
Any day is good to have a hurricane. You can have a hurricane any time. I'm not from New Orleans. I'm actually originally from Los Angeles. I'm a transplant here, but I've been here for a long time, and I think I've accepted my Southern roots, even though I'm not necessarily from. We actually we took an R&D trip, and we really supplanted ourselves in New Orleans for those days that we were there, and we took in everything we possibly could to ensure that we brought that heart and soul back to Austin with us, and I think we did that. I think we.
It sounds like some of that heart and soul is like running through your veins, because you did not shake for a second on the idea of not getting a hurricane. What are your thoughts on that? If people are looking for a date night at Uptown Sports Club, where should they sit?
Well, I feel like the booth section is probably the best place to sit. It really does lean more on the quieter side of the restaurant and the dimmer side. Mm-hmm. On the other table side, they have a lot more lights, more neon. That's where the bar section is. So you're going to have more of the hustle and bustle of the restaurant as opposed to the bar side, where you do get a little more privacy over there.
All right. Well, I know I'm getting a steak. There's no way I'm not going to a New Orleans-inspired restaurant and not starting with a little bit of gumbo or boudin, if you will. But I will ask you this. Let's talk about the sweet treat, the big sweet finale. What's a dessert, and bonus points if it's shareable?
All of our desserts are shareable, of course. I would say we have a espresso chocolate chantilly cake on the menu currently. That is both a mascarpone chantilly icing, and it has a little bit of an espresso soak inside. It's decadent, it's rich. I think it's the perfect shareable dessert to go with that hurricane.
I love it. Forget getting wine. We're just having hurricanes throughout the meal. You know,
absolutely.
Part of this, I'll just say this, I'm a steak guy, but there is something to be said about a steak you can share. And I feel like the secret sauce to Uptown Sports Club, people don't realize, is it's a low-key undercover steakhouse. And I say that because I remember going to Emeril's back in the day, and if you don't think you can't have a steakhouse experience at Emeril's, you don't understand the power of jambalaya on the side. Yeah, I mean, look, hurricanes, a chantilly dessert, a big old steak. I may not wait for February 14th. I think date night might be coming a couple Saturdays from now. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it.
If you like watching these Best Eats Austin clips, you can see a whole lot more by downloading the KXAN Plus app for your smart TV, Roku, or Fire Stick. Go check it out and see all of our Best Eats Austin episodes and a whole lot more.